call this the Anthony O'Neill Action Plan. Step one is we gotta have an emergency audit. This should be up on the screen. We're doing an emergency financial audit. And I mean this, an emergency. Like your financial life depends on it, because it does. For the next 30 days, I want you to track every single dollar. Actually, I want to go deeper. I want you to track every single penny. Not just the big stuff, everything. That $2.50 you spent for parking, that $12 you spent for lunch, that 50 cents you gave your son or your daughter, the subscription you forgot about. You cannot manage what you do not measure. But here's the key. Here's the key, y'all. Here's the key. We're not just tracking to shame ourselves. We're tracking to find the inflation hits. We're tracking to find what has changed. Where are the increases? What's hitting us the hardest? Is it groceries? Is it our rent? Is it your car payment? Is it your child care? And here's something that most people never do. Calculate your real hourly or salary wages. Take your salary, subtract your taxes, then subtract everything it costs you to work. Your commute, your work clothes, your lunches, your parking if you're living in a big city. What are you really earning per hour, per week, per month? And here's the truth. When I started calculating, even at my level now, okay, wait, I got to get up. I got to pay my girls, Morgan and India, to give me different shirts, styling shirts, so I'm not wearing the same shirt every single show, because the truth of the fact is, if I could, I would wear the same shirt every single show. Okay, the gas that gets me to come here, the staff that I gotta pay, the building fee that I pay for this, the lighting, internet. Like I wanna know, okay, how much is Anthony O'Neill really profiting? And here, I'm gonna be honest with you. This number might shock you, but it's going to motivate you, honestly, to make some changes. When we know the actual numbers, we can make better decisions with our money. They say by 2054, African Americans will have 0 to negative net worth. In simplest terms, pretty much they're saying that we will be in the red. I've dedicated the last 15 years of my life to help African Americans, and not just African Americans, but everyone, and get out of the red and get into the black. We're building a community of individuals who want to get out of debt, who want to build wealth, and get into the black. We are almost at 1 million community members who are aligning with that vision, with that mission. But oftentimes I get messages saying, man, I'm in the community, but then you're not subscribed. One of the simplest things and a free thing that you can do to help keep Neatness Network and the table going is simply hitting that subscribe button. We are almost at 1 million subscribers. At the time of recording this, we're at 980,000. There's 20,000 more. And man, I'm simply and super excited that if you have subscribed, thank you for being a part of this community. There's a lot of great things going, but if you haven't, can you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and join this amazing community of people that by 2054, they don't want to be a part of that stat. They want to be amongst the individuals who are consumer debt-free, building wealth, passing down legacy, and enjoying their life. Do me a favor before we get into today's show. Hit that subscribe button and share today's show. Hey, thank you. Let's get to it. Whether you're making $40,000 a year or $40,000 a quarter or $40,000 a month, when you know your actual numbers, you start to move differently. My team, because I know my numbers, my team is honestly scared to come to me to ask me for money. because they just know, I know down to every penny now. Wait. If I know I made this amount of money a month profit, this amount of money a week profit, this amount of money a day profit, this amount of money an hour profit, if I buy that, it's going to go into that. I don't know if I want to do that. This is not about penny pinching. This is about knowing your numbers, having it on a sheet of paper and knowing exactly what's going on. You can't be living with your girlfriend. You can't be living with your boyfriend, trying to act like everything's cool and you don't know what you're doing. Bothers me when my homeboys come to me complaining, my girl, she want this and she want that. So I just put on the credit card. And then when I'm around them, it's like, oh, babe, we got it. Go ahead and do this. But then they struggling and they stressed behind closed doors. No, sit down with your woman, brother. Sit down with your man, sister, and say, you know what? What are we honestly making? If you living with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, sit down and have an emergency financial audit. Have the hard conversation, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, single person. And watch this. Here's step 2. Some of us need to have a strategic downsize. This number 2. Y'all, I don't think they're going to like this one, Ed. They ain't going to like this one. They ain't going to like this one. Did he just say I got to downsize? I sure did. You see, strategic downsizing. Notice I didn't say cut everything and live like a monk. No, I said strategic. You see, wealthy individuals build their wealth strategically. If you're going to build a business, there's a strategy to it. One of the things that I love about one of my close friends, Pastor Stephen Chandler and Zai Chandler, who's built, I believe, the best church in the whole wide world called Union Church. Union Church. I first met Stephen when he was in a middle school or high school. I can't remember if it was a middle school or high school. I think it was a middle school, but it could have been a high school. I think maybe he had 400 members actually in the seat. But one of the things that I love about my friend and my pastor that I've learned from him is strategy. He's a phenomenal communicator. But where he wins at is strategy. If we're going to go from 400 to now, he's about 20,000 people, butts in seats. These ain't numbers. Remember, filled out. No. My church, man, they count how many people came to church between all their services. And between all their services, he's seeing around 20,000 people every single Sunday. And he didn't do it because, watch this, he can preach like a Bishop Jakes or preach like a Darius Daniels. No. He did it because he's a phenomenal communicator, because he loves God. But watch this, because of strategy. There is a strategy to everything. And oftentimes we think our gifts, oh my gosh. All right, fam, let me keep it real with you for a quick minute here. Most career change programs, they promise you the world, then they leave you hanging. But this QA boot camp I'm about to tell you about, I'm gonna be real with you up front. It's going to take about 20 weeks of hard work, studying after your day job, pushing through when you want to quit. But this is the fastest, most legit path I've found to go from whatever you're making now to $85,000 plus working from home in tech. 100% no coding required. You see, Careerist has over 1,300 graduates now working for companies like Google, Apple, Amazon, and even Disney. Their program is ranked #1 by Course Report. And here's what I love. They don't just train you and leave you. They coach you until you actually get a job. You see, one of my friends, Mike, went from working 90 hours a week, making $63,000 a year, to making $98,000 plus in commission working from home. Sarah, single mom, went from retail to $95,000 a year as a QA supervisor. These are not special people. They just made a decision to stick to it for 20 weeks, and it changed their life. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that there will be a 25% growth in QA jobs by 2032, and companies are in desperate need of QA professionals because when their system goes down, they lose millions. So if you're tired of being underpaid and you want a recession-proof career that lets you work from anywhere, not just home, but even on the beach, do not wait. Every day you delay is another day someone else is getting the training you need. I want you to visit anthonyoneil.com/QA. Again, that is anthonyoneil.com/QA to sign up today. It's going to change your life. I promise you. Let's start with housing. If your housing costs, rent, mortgage, insurance, and utilities are over 35% of your take-home pay, we need to change this strategy. We need to change this strategy. If you're a single person and those things are 50%, 6% of your pay, maybe we need to move. Maybe we need to consider a roommate. Maybe we need to go into an area that is less expensive. Maybe that is downsizing. But we do need a plan. There's nothing wrong with downsizing. Heck, even a part of me is like, man, do I need a 6,000 square foot home? I'm not hurting for money, but I see that this world is changing. And I'm looking at all of my options. Downsize doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that you're strategic. Transportation, let's talk about it. Some of y'all have a car payment that is almost like a second mortgage. You're paying $600, $700, $800 a month, which y'all know my philosophy. I don't do consumer debt. We need to have a conversation about what transportation actually costs you versus what is it worth. On one of my shows here previously, y'all saw, I told the couple when they came in, I said, man, you need to sell the car. It's $30,000 in debt. You all got to pay for a car. You have a baby on the way, which, by the way, she had her baby. Congrats. Sell the car. It puts money back in your pocket, gets you closer to financial freedom. Now you have more money to sow into your children. Let's talk about subscriptions. Death by thousands small changes. Say it one more time. Death by 1,000 small changes. Netflix, Spotify, the gym membership you have not been to in the last 6 months, that app you downloaded and you've totally forgot about it. Just recently, I subscribed to an AI software that's $99 a month, and I forgot that I tried it out. And I saw it come through my email, and I was so upset because I was like, yo, I just spent $100. Like, what in the world? Like, no, I haven't even used this thing in like 4 months. I'm slipping, and I'm the money guy. So I know if I'm slipping, half of y'all need to go through your bank statement and cancel everything you don't actively use and you love. Listen, this is not about living a miserable life. This is about being intentional with every single dollar so you can build the life you actually want and enjoy. I am at a season of life to where I've built a life that I can actually enjoy. I've built a life that when I wake up, I'm not waking up with stress. But it's also because I am managing my money very well. I have a golf coach. I have a nutrition and health coach. I'm able to travel and go on vacations. I'm actually about to sign up for a piano coach so I can learn how to play the piano better. Why? It's because I'm managing and I'm making sure that I'm not spending money on things that I do not need and I do not desire. I'm budgeting. I'm writing down what I'm spending my money on so that way I can get rid of the fluff, get rid of the things that I don't desire, cut back on things so I can invest in things that brings peace and joy. Which leads me to number 3, because I can't do those things if I'm not making money, which is step number 3, income acceleration. You see, income acceleration is needed because sometimes the problem isn't just what we're spending. If you all have been following me for a while, you understand when I say this, that income flows 2 ways. It flows 2 ways. It flows in and it flows out. So a lot of us right now is not the fact that we're honestly putting out a lot of money. It's the fact that we don't have more than enough coming in. So the problem, not the problem, but step 3 is about how do we make more money? How do we have more money coming in? But I'm not just talking about any side hustle. I'm talking about strategic income streams that actually move the needle. What skills do you have that people will pay for? What problems can you solve? What do you know that others want to learn? What boot camp can you go to, like a careerist, and get into the tech field that you can be working from home, making 6 figures a year, but you only paid maybe a couple of $1,000s to go to this boot camp. Now you pay a couple of thousands, but your ROI was what? A 6-figure situation.